the most valuable corporation on earth in the year 2000.
You know?
And today, in the paper I read yesterday, the possibility that General Electric's bonds might very well become junk status.
Perhaps the most influential and imitated, not to mention controversial corporate CEO of the last half century.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him, Jack Welch.
Jack Welch.
Jack Welch.
Yeah. My name is Jack Welch, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of General Electric.
Widely praised as a modern management genius.
Imagine the most powerful company in the world, a giant that lit your home, powered your flights, and defined American strength for 126 years. Now picture it with just 48 hours of cash left, teetering on the edge of collapse. General Electric wasn't brought down by war or disaster. It was betrayed by its own ambition, a secret machine it built inside itself. How did GE rise to rule the world? How did it nearly die? And what does its rebirth mean for us all? This is a story of brilliance, betrayal, and a bold gamble to survive.
The 2008 financial crisis nearly bankrupted its most profitable business.
GE's stock is up in the pre-market. First quarter profits exceeded analyst estimates. CEO Jeff Immelt saying that losses have peaked in the GE Capital unit.
General Electric wasn't just a company, it was the company. For over a century, it shaped how we live, from light bulbs to jet engines. But in 2008, it came within a heartbeat of vanishing. This isn't just GE's story, it's a warning about what happens when success hides truth. We'd unravel how GE soared, how it built a trap that nearly killed it, and how it broke itself apart to start again. But first, how did it all begin? It started with a spark and a deal that changed everything. In 1892, General Electric wasn't born in a lab, it was forged in a power play. Thomas Edison's company merged with its rival, Thomson-Houston, orchestrated by J.P. Morgan, the king of American finance. From day one, GE's mission was clear: electrify the world. They didn't just make light bulbs, they made them cheap, bright, and everywhere. Homes that were once dark glowed with possibility. GE didn't stop there. They built X-ray machines that let doctors see inside the human body. Electric locomotives hauled goods across the nation. By the 1940s, GE's J47 jet engine powered America's first military jets, redefining war and travel. You saw GE's logo on your fridge, your TV, your washing machine, but behind the scenes, they built the turbines and electronics that powered entire industries. GE was a rock, reliable, untouchable, a founding member of the Dow Jones. For decades, it stood for hard engineering truth. But something else was growing inside, a seed that would one day choke the giant. But one man would change its DNA forever. Enter Jack Welch, 1981. At 45, he was young, brash, and ruthless.
Don't let anybody get between you and your suppliers or you and your customers. Don't let somebody show up with a .com. It's nothing. It's meaningless. They got nothing.
Wall Street would call him manager of the century. His workers, they called him Neutron Jack, because when he was done, the building stood, but 100,000 jobs were gone. Welch saw GE as fat and slow. His fix? A brutal rule. Every GE business had to be number 1 or number 2 in its market. If not, fix it, sell it, or shut it down. In 5 years, he slashed a quarter of GE's workforce, sold 400 businesses, and bought nearly 1,000 others. GE became a machine built for one thing: growth at any cost. He introduced the vitality curve, a system where managers ranked employee yearly, firing the bottom 10% no matter what. It created a culture of fear and focus. Hit your numbers or you're out. To keep those numbers perfect, Welch turned into a quiet division called GE Capital. What started as a way to finance fridges in the 1930s became something else. A financial empire hiding inside an industrial giant. But was it too perfect? GE Capital wasn't just a bank, it was a black box. By the 2000s, GE Capital was a monster, worth $637 billion, bigger than most banks. It lent money for real estate, subprime loans, even aircraft leasing. At its peak, it generated nearly 60% of GE's profits. The industrial icon was now a shadow bank, and Wall Street couldn't get enough. Every quarter, GE's earnings were flawless, smooth, predictable, perfect. How? Through tricks. Selling assets at just the right time, aggressive accounting, pulling future revenue into today's books. The SEC later called some of it fraud, but back then, investors cheered. GE stock soared from $14 billion when Welch took over to nearly $600 billion by 2000. GE was the most valuable company on earth. But perfection was a lie. GE Capital was borrowing billions short-term to fund risky long-term bets. It looked safe until the world changed. Welch retired in 2001, leaving a successor a ticking time bomb. Who could defuse it? Then came the crisis that broke everything. Jeff Immelt took over as a CEO in September 2001.
You're a multi-business company. I would say in some ways this is the strength of the company.
Just days before 9/11, the tragedy hit GE hard.
Not appear that there's any kind of an effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack.
Its insurance arm lost $600 million. Its aviation business, the crown jewel, froze as planes stayed grounded. Immelt wanted to return GE to its industrial roots. He launched Eco-Imagination, betting on clean energy, and bought Enron's wind business for pennies after its collapse. Bold moves, but he was trapped. GE Capital still drove most of GE's profits, and Wall Street demanded the same perfect growth Welch delivered. Shutting it down would tank the stock, so the machine kept running until 2008. The financial crisis froze credit markets.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%. The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
GE Capital, built on short-term loans, couldn't borrow. Reports said GE was 48 hours away from bankruptcy. Warren Buffett threw a $3 billion lifeline, but with strings. The Federal Reserve added $16 billion. The government bent rules, letting GE raise $74 billion in debt. GE survived, but its myth of invincibility was dead. Immelt sold off pieces, NBC Universal, appliances, even Edison's lighting business. But chasing growth, he made a fatal mistake. In 2015, he bought Alstom's power turbine business for up to $17 billion, despite warnings that gas turbines were losing ground to renewables. By 2018, GE admitted defeat, writing off $23 billion, a polite way of saying, we overpaid badly. Debt hit $140 billion. The dividend was cut to a penny, and after 111 years, GE was kicked out of the Dow Jones.
There's sign tonight that General Electric's light no longer shines so bright. The company's losing its place among the 30 stocks of the Dow Jones Industrial Index. It'll be replaced next week by Walgreens.
GE needed a savior, but not from within. In 2018, GE did the unthinkable. It hired an outsider. Larry Kulp, who turned Dan Hire into a lean powerhouse, stepped in.
I think the message was pretty simple. Our strategy is clear. We want to strengthen the balance sheet and set our businesses up to play and win. 19 will be a reset year, but if you look past 19 into 20 and 21, we're going to be on a better path toward a better place.
His verdict? GE wasn't just broke, it was broken. He called it success theater, a culture where managers hid bad news, polished numbers, and played for optics, not truth. Kulp ended it. He pushed lean manufacturing and Kaizen, small worker-led improvements. Show me the red, he said. We fixed the red. Real wins followed. In Massachusetts, a 59% aerospace welding process hit 100%, saving 62 days. In New York, a wind turbine plant cut 22 crane lifts per unit, saving 530 labor hours. In Hungary, service team boosted on-time delivery by 50%, saving $1 million a year. Kulp slashed $100 billion in debt, selling the biopharma unit for $21 billion and merging jet leasing with AerCap for $30 billion. He closed a $27 billion pension gap. Free cash flow, once negative, hit $2.1 billion in 2021, then $4.5 billion in 2022. But Kulp saw the real problem. GE's sprawling structure. The conglomerate was dead, so he made a drastic call. But could GE survive by breaking itself apart? In 2023, GE Healthcare spun off, a laser-focused medical tech company. In 2024, GE Vernova launched, powering the world with renewables and turbines. What remained? GE Aerospace, the heart of the original GE, selling jet engines cheap and banking billions on decades of service. Larry Culp stayed to let it. Wall Street roared approval. By late 2023, GE stock, now mostly aerospace, surged 96% in a year. The three companies' combined value soared from $60 billion at GE's low to over $250 billion. The lumbering giant had split into three agile runners, each thriving in its own race. But what does GE's story mean for us? GE's story isn't just about a company, it's about us. Jack Welch built an empire on a lie. Perfect numbers at any cost. It made GE the world's most valuable company until it nearly killed it. Jeff Immelt saw the trap but couldn't escape, and his $17 billion mistake buried the giant deeper. Larry Culp, he didn't play theater. He tore down the stage, faced the truth, and broke GE into three to save it. The lessons: culture beats strategy. Success theater hides crack under their shatter. Transparency builds strength. Financial tricks can fake glory until reality hits. In a world of AI, climate shifts, and global chaos, focus and truth win, not size. But here's the question: how many giants today, tech titans, financial empires, even governments, are still playing success theater, either hiding cracks, chasing perfect numbers, hoping we don't notice? GE's story says truth catches up. Will we see the next collapse coming, or build a world that doesn't need to break to learn?